What leads me to think of that when the first thing that comes up in front of me is something that I dealt with for a lot of years when it came around this subject. And that was the idea that my mother would talk about all the time, that money doesn't grow on trees. There's, the glass is half full. Money is the root of all evil. And so do you think there's a generational curse when it comes to poverty? Because, that's the paradigm I lived in, the habit in my own head.
Yes. Well, let's talk about generational curse. In the word generation, you hear the word gene. What we must understand is that generational curse is first transferred through vision. Your eyes absorb the things that are in your environment. For example, if in your home you have broken furnitures, the children are seeing these broken furniture. They are absorbing, right, in their consciousness, the mindset of poverty. If they go in your closets and the clothes are not aligned and clean and things are all in all kind of places, they're watching that and they're absorbing that through the environment. If you go to the store and the child is watching you, you buy a lot of groceries and you go to the cashier to pay and you return some items, the child is watching that and is copying that in his consciousness. You are actually programming the child's genes to become poor and broke, right? Now, then it goes to wording, the things you're saying to the children. For example, we don't have enough. You don't have to get that. We don't have a lot of money. That is for rich people. We are not this type of people. So then there is a program, but we must understand the pathological aspect of generational curse. It's not just something somebody can pray over your head and you're going to be free from generational curse. That's a superstition. You must renew your mind, which means your neural pathways that have been designed by your upbringing to create a poor personality in you, that neural pathway has to be broken. You have to design new cells in your brain. You have to be able to step in an environment where you can see the opposite of what you have been raised in. You have to put new words into your brain. I'll give you a very important example in the Bible, the example of Jacob, for example. Jacob wanted to produce sheep that would have stripes, right? What did he do? He took a stick and then he designed stripes on the stick. Then he placed the stick where the animals would go drink and where the animals would go and get intimate. I know we don't use those words for animals, but I use them for animals get intimate. So what he did is he put the stripe, the stick with the stripes where they would drink. Why? While they're drinking, of the stick with the stripe will affect the brain and will begin to change the language of the genes when they meet. And eventually, when they give birth, the little ones have the stripes. So you got to ask yourself, what does imagination has to do with it? Your brain doesn't know the difference between what you imagine and what you're doing when you involve your senses. So when you get to a place in your life where you realize that you have been actually genetically programmed to be poor, you have to begin to change your genes. That's why they talk about blue blood in England, for example. The royal family, they have designed, let me explain this to you in a very clear way. Mm-hmm. If you take a cup of water and you spray a fragrance into it, the molecules of the fragrance will mix with the molecules of the water. Now, if you pour that water into another container that has water, the molecules will contaminate with the molecules in the next tank of water. You must understand, your grandparents, all the feelings they have released in the bloodstream, like a fragrance, has changed the genetical language. The genes is speaking the language of poverty. The body is carrying the vibration of lack and limitations. So when that blood through the sperms and the eggs formulate the individual that you are, your body is already vibrationally designed to only make decisions that will lead you to poverty. Because your bloodstream through your neural pathway will communicate to your brain the choices and the decisions you should make. So you would take a child, for example, who is born into wealth, His grandparent has redesigned the brain, redesigned the genetical language of their body. They give birth to this child. The funny thing about it is they will end up making all the right choices, regardless of the situations that they're facing. It's mind blowing. They
Wow.
90% of the time they will end up in wealth. But you will try everything. You will work hard. You will read books. You will try anything to be wealthy. You will be hitting roadblocks because your body vibration is being programmed to actually generate decisions and choices that can only lead to lack and limitations.
Wow.